Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Battle Royale tips and tricks video. In tonight's video, we have a nice 13 kill solo win from a little bit ago, right before the combat shotgun was actually nerfed. So this is back when the combat shotgun hit for 1.7, had a little bit more range on it. So keep that in mind when watching this gameplay. But we're going to talk about how to win your fights and how to get more solo wins and get better at Fortnite at this exact moment. And basically by analyzing this solo win that I'm able to get with 13 kills here, and by talking about using your advantages and just winning specific straight on gunfights. So this is a game where I was playing aggressive, and you could tell by the, of course, tilted towers, which by the way, I still say who still says tilted towers? Put in the comments down below. Do you still say tilted towers when you're like talking about it with your buddies, or do you say neo tilted? For me, I'm still saying that classic tilted towers. I don't know, maybe other people are saying neo tilted, maybe it's 50-50. I'm kind of interested actually, so let me know in the comment section down below. But I was playing aggressive, and this game you'll see one where I wasn't really taking my time to farm or prepare for late game, you know, all the good stuff that I talk about. I was really just playing aggro, and that's why I think this was a good game mode, or not game mode, but gameplay to talk about winning gunfights and what to do when you might not have the most mats late game, but you're confident in your ability. So smack that like button if you guys could. Let's go ahead and shoot for 745 likes. And where the heck did this guy come from? Out of nowhere, I almost get him with the trap, and then he impulses out. Are you kidding me? Or shockwaves out? Are you kidding me, man? Right as I had him with the trap. That is just my luck, isn't it? Anyway, drop a like. Those go for 745 likes. That would be amazing. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. That would be much appreciated. And let's talk about it. So right here, obviously dropping in at Tilted Towers. Hey, it kind of worked out that that guy ran away, because if he didn't run away, maybe I wouldn't have checked this, which ended up giving me 3 minis. So of course, with a game like this where I land at Neo Tilted, this is an aggressive sort of game. I wasn't taking my time on farming. My intention was, of course, to win the game, but it was through slaying sort of every enemy. And on this one, I believe the bus was a little bit of a stretch towards Tilted. So even though I get a 13 kill solo win, you can see here, there's what? 35 people left, 3 kills. It wasn't the most explosive start to the game, as you could say, but that's why there's always the dilemma of, do you go Tilted, which is a place where you can get consistent drops, but a lot of times, if you actually want to go for like a 15-20 bomb, if you're flying in right over like Pleasant or even right over like Paradise, sometimes that is the way to go. So here we go, we catch an enemy right off here, and this guy does the classic strat where he just goes and hides in the bottom of my base. I don't know why he did that. Maybe it's because he had no materials, but I picked up some materials off of him, so obviously just a more beginner sort of move there. At that point, I was able to just drop down and take out that player. Nothing too much to gain from that gunfight. So anyway, we're leaving Tilted Towers. You could see it was a decent start to the game, but I mean, it's nothing amazing. I have 4 kills with 20 left, and I have not the best inventory. I have a green AR. I have a blue combat shotgun, which is still good, but it's of course the worst version of the combat shotgun. And then I have some extra heals. So this guy's coming up right here. Boom, kind of third party this fight right at the exact moment and get a free kill out of that. This guy gets some damage into me. I have to wait a second to pop this slurp. Now, of course, I'm going to box up and try to buy time. I just popped a slurp juice, so every second that this fight takes longer, I'm going to have a bigger advantage. But when I realize I have an opportunity to hop out of this enemy, a quick edit, and I'm able to do that right there. Pretty good stuff. You know, it's all about boxing up. I talk about this a lot, and I talk about how it separates the good players from the great players. When you see like a really, really good player, like a Tfue or someone, get in trouble, just watch the way they absolutely go into defensive mode and protect themselves. It is very, very impressive, and I think that is a big difference. You know, knowing when to box up, buy time, and then knowing when to take that opportunity, boom, hop out, and I got that 70 damage on him before we were going in, and then of course just one more shot was able to finish him off. So right here you can see I have a decent amount of mats, but my game plan here is to play aggressive, and you can sort of tell that by me diving in on this enemy. Of course, the smart move, if I was just playing for the win at this point, the smart move would be to jump pad over to the zone, but I wanted to go for this kill. I saw this guy coming out of the storm. A lot of the times players coming out of the storm are where you can get some nice easy kills, or players that are either already weak or are sometimes struggling with different materials or farm or stuff like that. I'm able to take this player out, which ends up being worth it because I swap out to the gold combat, and the gold combat is a monster, and it still is a monster in this game. Now, I want to talk about something here. This is where it really comes down to the top 10, and when it comes down to the top 10, you have to make your decision. What are you playing for? Right here, this guy was standing still, looking down at an enemy. Notice how I took my time, and I lined up, boom, back-to-back 66 and 66 on the headshots. Trust me, that is really, really important, and something that comes with being a mature player. When you realize people are standing still, and you see this with snipers all the time. Now, I'm not the most efficient sniper myself, but you see with snipers where there's an enemy moving just also slightly. They wait that second till the enemy is perfectly still, and they take the shot. Same thing with getting pre-damage with an AR to an enemy at distance. If you see that they're sitting there or lining up for the headshot, you need to take those headshots. That's double damage. I'm able to get the kill from that. Now, I look down over here because, of course, that guy wasn't just standing there for no reason. I assumed he was standing there looking down at a player, and I'm able to put a little bit of pressure on with that grenade launcher and pick off the kill here. So right now, I'm sort of in slaying mode. Of course, this isn't really, you know, if I wanted to go for the win, I would probably just go into those bushes, farm up, build a base, and sort of sit around. But this is aggressive mode, and using my advantages, punishing or abusing my advantages, I talk about a lot. And what do I mean by that? An advantage is something that you have that probably most players in the lobby don't have in their inventory. So AR, probably everyone has an AR. Shotgun, probably everyone has a shotgun. Minis, most people probably have minis. But the glider redeploy and the grenade launcher, these are my two advantages that I can sort of use to punish or to get an extra leg up on the enemy. Right here, this guy, of course, you know, he tries to build first the ramp, so I think he's going to challenge me, so I try to triple reinforce that. Right there, I just spray down with the gold combat, and honestly, after the latest patch where it's not as efficient with headshots and at range, you would probably want to pull out like an AR for that sort of distance nowadays, but back when this was, you know, back before it was nerfed, the gold combat was absolutely amazing, and it still is. I'm just saying that, you know, it's a different play style now. It still is a great shotgun, but shots like that you might be better off with the AR. So right there you can see I get pressured right after I kill that player, and once again I'm back to using my advantages. This guy's turtling up and I realize, hey, I have a grenade launcher, why not use that just to put some pressure on this enemy? Who knows if one of these are going to land in there. I try to always send down multiple at once. The idea is that one breaks it and then another one hits the enemy for some damage. That is of course the idea. This guy tries to build up, boom, I try to get the shot in, but he covers his head. Right there I get the shot in and I do some damage. Now looking back in hindsight, I don't pressure this guy because I realized there was like, what, 4 or 5 people left and 10 kills. I was sort of trying to play smart and secure the win. But looking back at this from an objective perspective, I honestly should have pushed that player due to the fact that I had only 300 mats and I had just hit some damage on that enemy. I should have made a split-second decision here. And instead of what I'm doing right here, just standing around sort of stalling, I should have either decided, okay, I'm going off into those bushes to farm up, or I'm going to push that player. Right here, I make the decision to go off into the bushes to not farm up, to actually grab this supply drop, hoping that it would have a 50 pot. Of course, that's when the enemy who was boxed up takes that as an opportunity to jump. A lot of players are like this. They will wait for you to make the first move. I'm trying to defend myself here from his RPGs, and that's basically what I'm doing here. Just spam building. I run out of builds. I'm like, oh my goodness, this could be trouble. You know, you never want to be running out of builds, and this is what happens from me sort of mismanaging or not, you know, taking too long to make that decision. I should have been left that gunfight or been pushed that guy when I had only like 200 or 300 mats. Anyway, I'm able to take out that player. But this is what I'm talking about a lot of the times, where if you're just playing full aggro and playing for the moment, you get into situations like this, which is not ideal. You do not want to be where I'm at in this game. Luckily, I was able to play, you know, I was able to play to my situation and get out of it. So what I did, because I realized I had like almost no mats, I went over into the bushes to start farming up, and I was going to take the outskirts profile and sort of rotate around. I then see this enemy and I'm like, okay, this is it. 3 enemies left, so that means there's 2 enemies and myself, 3 players left. I have to all in on this guy, and you can see here, there's no hesitation from me. I realized that, look, the zone is rotating in 1 second. I need this guy's materials. I have to win this gunfight to get that done. I eventually do win that gunfight, and which is awesome, but I don't get that many materials out of it. I only get like 100 materials because, of course, I'm fighting that player, and I realize now it's a 1v1. So I made the decision there, which, of course, charging at the 3rd player left in the game usually isn't the smartest if you're trying to get the win, but in that situation, I needed to do that. And that's exactly what I did. So right here, we're down and we're back to 70 mats. I know at this point I'm at low mats. That's why I'm not challenging this guy to a build fight. Normally, I would just build up and try to challenge this to a fight. But first of all, I knock him down. Boom, huge damage right there. I did about 150. And this is where it gets tricky. And this is why you never want to be in a late game scenario with no mats. I can't really get up there. And all I can do is sort of just keep shooting down this player until he falls down. And that's why you can see this gameplay was a great example of how to win gunfights and what to do when you are in a tough situation. But ideally, to get more wins, you want to be preparing. You want to be more prepared for late game. But when you are going for more kills, you are in turn usually going to get more kills, but sometimes be less prepared due to the materials the enemies give you or whatnot. So right here, I realized, okay, this guy's being held up, knock this player down, and I'm able to finish off the game. There you go. You can see me using almost all of my materials and everything that I could to be able to get this victory royale. A nice 13 kill solo win, where a lot of them came playing aggressive in that mid to late game, where you sometimes played aggressive gets you a lot of materials, but you saw in a bunch of those kills, the 2 guys hanging off the cliff, I wasn't able to get their loot, and you can't always rely on just enemies loot from the people that you kill, because they'll usually burn a lot in fights, and so will you. And sometimes you want to prepare using natural farming and other things like that. But in those situations, when it comes to winning fights, hopefully this video did help you guys out and helped you understand where you should, I made some mistakes hesitating, and where I made the right decisions, where even if it was scary, I don't want to push this guy, but sometimes you have to, because you need whatever that player has, or you need to win that and get that player out of the way to move on into the next scenario. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment down below with anything you guys want some tips and tricks on for Fortnite. That's about it. I'll catch you on the next one, and I'm out. Peace.